A very good afternoon to all of you. I hope I'm visible as well as audible. Good afternoon, everyone. Just give me a quick confirmation in the chat box. Okay. Hi, Vedansh. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Samiksha. Hi, Aishwarya. I hope you guys are doing well. And I think we are meeting after quite some time. So, yeah, welcome to another session of the Hindu editorial analysis. And Vedansh, I'm doing absolutely fine. How are you? I am I have been hiccuping since morning, so I think you guys will have to tolerate that today. So I did try every possible thing, but yeah, I am still hiccuping a lot. But coming back to today's class, I hope you're ready. Good afternoon, Varun. Hi, Pranati. Hi, Drishti. Good afternoon, Yash. Hi, Anaira. Hello, Neelam. And if I have forgotten anybody's name, so good afternoon to you as well. And let's start with the class. And I hope you can see my screen. So the first word of the day, the first high frequency word that you might come across again is microcosm. And by the way, I don't see this word that often in the Hindu, but you can consider this particular word as a miniature, okay, of something that is usually large. For example, आप लोगों ने देखा होगा कि architects जो होते हैं, वो एक miniature model बनाते हैं of their upcoming project. Now, that miniature model can be considered as microcosm. Okay, so as you can see it here, it's a small society, place, or an activity which has all the typical features of a much larger one and so seems like a smaller version of it. So हम बोल सकते हैं कि किसी भी चीज का जो miniature model होता है, that is basically the microcosm. For example, this Earth, okay, it's kind of like a microcosm of the entire universe. Because हमें नहीं पता है कि यूनिवर्स में अभी और भी कितने वर्ल्ड्स हैं. So we have still not explored it fully. So we can consider this Earth as a miniature model of what's going on in the greater scheme of things. Okay, so let's see how can we use this particular word in a sentence. And thank you so much, Varun. Hi, Sai. Your name is Sai or Sai? So I have this kid in my class. Her name is Sai. So do let me know about the pronunciation. And you can see the usage here. The airless and claustrophobic classroom is a microcosm for the world outside. Given the constant, pressing issues of the environment and the climate around us, I think धीरे धीरे we are kind of progressing towards an airless and claustrophobic world. यानी कि जहाँ पे सांस लेना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाए. Claustrophobic is basically an area which is a confined space where it's very, very difficult to breathe. How many of you have claustrophobia, by the way? You are Sai. Okay. All right. I'll remember that. So हम देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे कि you can also use it in your own example. I'm writing another example here so that it makes you understand it even better. How many of you have watched the movie Barbie? So, the Barbie was a microcosm of how an independent woman should look like, okay? So that's how you can use it. The next word is thwarted. If anybody thwarts your dreams or ambitions, that means they are preventing you from accomplishing them, and you need to get rid of such people ASAP. ओके थ्वाटेड का मतलब होता है कोई आपको किसी चीज को करने से रोक रहा हो ओके लाइक प्रिवेंटिंग फ्रॉम अकम्प्लिशिंग समथिंग सो as you can see, he was thwarted in his evil plans, thank God. A villain should always be thwarted when they are plotting or scheming some evil plans. You can use it in another example like this. She tried to thwart my attempts, but failed miserably. Okay. Ishika gave me a very beautiful microcosm of the Hogwarts school. Wow, lovely example, Vedansh. In a way, that's seen as a microcosm of the actor's decade-long, always interesting career. Wow, Samiksha. Great example again. So, moving to the next one. Thwart ka matlab hota hai to prevent somebody from accomplishing something, and obviously you should never be the reason why somebody's plans or decisions or ambitions are thwarted, right? Instead, we should support other people to actually realize their dreams. The next word is subterfuge. And the subterfuge is basically when people use trickery, when people use deception, people use dishonesty to get something done. Okay. And generally, I think the politicians have the habit of using subterfuge. Even you might have seen journalists, they often use subterfuge to obtain material for stories. कितनी बार ऐसा होता है कि जो जर्नलिस्ट होते हैं उनको through lying, dishonesty, through trickery, they have to wheedle out information out of other people. So that's basically how you use subterfuge. We quickly realized that this holiday was just a subterfuge to get us to sign the papers. Haters always thwarted us, but Varun, we are always going to thwart their plans too, right? She was deeply irritated at being thwarted, of course. And Aditi's example is the group of volunteers gave me a microcosm of the Ram Mandir. Exactly. That's exactly the way you should use it. In today's world, the people who are close to us generally thwart us from achieving our dreams. Drishti just use the word thwart there, okay? We don't have to use the verb thwarted, which is basically the past tense, because the entire sentence is in present tense. Okay? So subterfuge is a noun, thwarted is a verb, and microcosm is another noun. The next one is impunity. Let's try to remember the word impunity through immunity. Okay? Immunity का मतलब क्या होता है? That means you might have seen reality TV shows where people get immunity. That means in that particular round they are not going to get disqualified, right? तो हमें पता होता है कि इसका मतलब ये है कि वी हैव फ्रीडम फ्रॉम पनिशमेंट एज सिंपल एज दैट ठीक है इसका मतलब है यू कैन बेसिकली चिल फॉर दैट टाइम पीरियड सो इम्प्यूनिटी का मतलब होता है फ्रीडम फ्रॉम पनिशमेंट और गेनिंग इम्यूनिटी ओवर समथिंग and let's see how we can use it in a sentence. Some ministers seem to be able to break the rules with impunity. ऐसा लगता है कि कुछ मिनिस्टर्स को देख के कि उन पे कभी भी कोई नेगेटिव एक्शन लिया ही नहीं जाएगा बिकॉज दे हैव दैट इमेंस immunity from the government. Okay, so she got the impunity from her parents to take any car she wanted. Okay, it's like winning an immunity. You can also use it like this. The participant in the reality show won impunity over other contestants, right? Then the next one is dissemination. Disseminate karna yani ki to spread something. Okay, the action or fact of spreading something, especially information widely. The dissemination of misinformation made everybody worried. Usages The internet allows us to disseminate information faster. I think everybody can agree over this. अगर मुझे कोई भी information quickly spread करनी है, तो I think internet is the, I would say, most important platform from where I can easily circulate information to a wide number of people, right? From the age of 0 to 7 years, children have complete impunity from any punishment, according to J.J. Board. Yes, Vedansh, that's how we use it. Um, the pandemic disseminated with lightning speed, right? We have all been the victims of the pandemic, so I think we can all totally resonate with this very fact that the pandemic, quickly spread out with a lightning speed. ठीक है, हम सोच पाते इससे पहले ही the virus was everywhere. So that's how we can use disseminate. Any examples that you want to come up with? We'll wait for that. Okay, souvenirs. And generally, we buy souvenirs whenever we are traveling. It's basically a thing that is kept as a reminder of a person, place, or event. You can even call it a memento, or you can even call it a keepsake. तो souvenirs क्या होते हैं? अगर हमें किसी की याद में कोई चीज संभाल के रखना है, ठीक है? It can be a reminder of a person. It can be a reminder of a place. For example, you went on a trip with your family members and you want to keep a memento of that trip. So you buy something from that place, right? And keep it as a keepsake. That's a souvenir. And how can we use it in a sentence? I wear this necklace as a souvenir to remember my grandmother, right? It's a reminder or a remembrance present. Children are not allowed to use phone in classroom, but teachers do it with impunity. Okay, Drishti, I think you might have seen many of your teachers doing that, right? Anything that stands in the way of the dissemination of knowledge is a real problem. I think absolutely correct. Totally on board with that. Then the next one is replica, and it's a very common word. You might have heard it 1,000 times, but still I kind of brought it up here because कुछ लोगों को इसका meaning नहीं पता होता है. Replica का मतलब होता है an exact copy of something. For example, you might have seen twins. Twins can be considered as a replica of the other. Similarly, a replica of an original document. That means an exact copy or a remake of an object. Okay, so Amy was a younger replica of her mother. That means Amy looks exactly like her mother does when she was young. Okay? The coat was an exact replica of mm, of any famous brand, of the famous LV trench. Okay? Hi Priya. My friend loves collecting souvenirs. Exactly. The original was missing, but the replica glared at us. I wear my bangles as a souvenir to remember my mother. Wow. Yes, thank you so much for actually elucidating the brand names Dior, Gucci. Thank you so much for that. These souvenirs manifested women's personal past, not a mythic national past. What a profound example. My dad always carries the watch gifted by me as a souvenir of my presence. I made a replica of my souvenir. Wow, you have used two of the examples here. Choppy waters. When you are in choppy waters, that means you are in a troublesome, difficult situation. You do not know what's going to happen next. That means it's an unpredictable, uncertain, troublesome situation for you. Today, I wear my school dress as a souvenir to remember my school days. Yes, I think that's kind of very nostalgic, right, Aditi? The choppy waters, I regret the fact that the royal family has recently entered choppy waters. It's an idiom, by the way. So I saw two idioms today, and there was this one phrase which I did not really take up here because I think it was very, very common, a beacon of hope. Does anybody know the meaning of a beacon of hope? मैंने यहाँ पे in this particular slide I haven't picked it up because बहुत ही common सा phrase है ये. अगर तुम लोगों को पता होगा तो please write it in the chat box. If you do not know it, I'll let you know the meaning. Okay? So I regret the fact that the royal family has recently entered choppy waters. I hate the fact that my best friend and I have entered choppy waters. So whenever you use that I was in a difficult situation, please start using I was in choppy waters. And obviously that will make your sentence more impressive. So microcosm of the Hogwarts given by my sister is a souvenir of her love towards me. Wonderful. And the next idiom is in the offing. When something is in the offing, that means something is likely to happen soon. इसका मतलब है वो चीज जल्दी ही होने वाली है. Something which is nearing or immediately going to happen in near future. That's in the offing. For example, your CLAT exams are not in the offing currently. अभी time है CLAT को, right? Jan was delighted that exams were finished and graduation was in the offing. That means graduation was likely to happen soon. Okay? My final exams are in the offing and I couldn't be more excited, right? As we are growing up, it seems like we have entered the choppy waters era. I just hope not, Drishti. It's just the beginning, right? In a mock test, I always find myself, Weber just changed the sentence a little. In the mock test, I always find myself in choppy waters. Varun, totally depends on how you have prepared, actually. It's a very subjective thing. If you're somebody who reads often, somebody who is in constantly, who is in constant touch with vocabulary, have been studying grammar, I don't really think CLAT can pose a problem for you. And obviously, revision of the concepts, practice of the concepts, consistency, all of those things put together will make your exam super easy. So if you are already doing all of those things, it's a piece of cake. Okay. So moving forward to the next one, the article of the day, home run on the Indian test win. How many of you have watched the match, by the way? And obviously, it gives us immense pride as well as happiness when India wins. And this particular article was about that. So there was this another article about Pakistan's election thing going on, and I think we have already discussed it twice before. So I did not really pick that up. I picked this one up because obviously it fills us with a lot of happiness for our country. So coming back to home run on the Indian test when England's baseball challenged India at home, but it was clearly the better team. Which one? Indian team, obviously. तो हम देख सकते हैं कि India has just won the cricket test series against England. And obviously Rohit Sharma was helming the team. Helming का मतलब होता है leading the team. And despite facing challenges like key players being absent, Virat Kohli was not there because he was on a paternity leave and due to other various reasons. England being such a tough opponent, India performed really well. तो हम देख सकते हैं कि even though some players were very new to the team, still they stepped up and made important contributions to the team. And obviously there were some experienced players also that also played their part. So all in all, you can say that everybody played their roles very well, which kind of contributed to the overall victory of the team, right? So the series was super exciting for all of us, and with both the teams showing their strengths. ऐसा नहीं है कि इंग्लैंड टीम बहुत वीक टीम है, इंग्लैंड इज अ वेरी स्ट्रांग टीम. सो उन लोगों ने भी अपनी स्ट्रेंथ्स दिखाई. एंड स्टिल इंडिया स्पिन बॉलर्स, यहाँ पे बहुत सारे नाम लिखे हुए हैं स्पिन बॉलर्स के, like Jasprit Bumrah. Then there was Akash Deep, who lent a sharp hand. When you lend somebody a sharp hand, that means you are helpful or you are supportive of them. So यहाँ पे भी हम देख सकते हैं कि हमारे जो bowlers थे, उन लोगों ने बहुत ही अच्छा खेला. And they did a great job on pitches that are known to favor spin bowling, because it was obviously our backyard. Backyard का मतलब it was a home ground. So this kind of gives us a lot of motivation for the upcoming matches as well. And throughout the series there were moments of tension. तो ऐसा नहीं था कि बहुत ही easily इंडिया ने जीत लिया है ये मैच. So there was a lot of tension, there was a lot of frenzy, आप बोल सकते हो, but India still managed to maintain its cool, and India still managed to maintain its unbeaten streak in home test series for over 10 years. So जब भी हमारा home ground होता है, obviously we have the upper hand here, and that's basically what the passage is all about. So you can see here there were some high frequency words as well as some difficult idioms as well. But yeah, we have definitely discussed that in the next slide. So can anybody quickly tell me what's the meaning of the word indomitable? I think I remember that we have discussed the word indomitable in one of our previous sessions. So does anybody remember it? Batao? So if it means that we have been an indomitable force, indomitable का मतलब होता है very hard to defeat them. That means it was impossible to defeat us when it comes to our home ground. And that's exactly what has happened, right? So indomitable का मतलब होता है impossible to defeat, okay? Invincible, that's how we played in this particular test series. The second word is tussle. If you have a tussle with your brother or sister, what does that mean? ये बहुत ही easy word है. I think most of you might already know the meaning of it. Tussle, a kind of struggle or a kind of fight or a conflict. So that is a tussle, irrespective of the verdict. In that last tussle का मतलब है last fight. ठीक है? Bragging rights, ऐसा लिखा हुआ है यहाँ पे कि Rohit's men will still own the silverware. What does that mean? What is the meaning of the word silverware? Are we talking about utensils, or are we talking about the trophy? Exactly, Om and Aditi. You guys have answered it correctly. So, what is the meaning of silverware? We are going to own the silverware basically means we are going to win the trophy. Okay. So also we have won the bragging rights. Brag करना, जब हम जीतते हैं तो obviously हम उस चीज को brag करते हैं, to show off, right? That is bragging. And this has been a riveting tale of ups and downs. What does that mean? If a tale is riveting, that means it's totally engrossing. आप अपना attention एक मिनट के लिए भी divert नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि the plot is so engaging. Okay, so that is a riveting tale. Generally, somebody who is a great storyteller will keep the audience hooked up till the very end. So that is what is riveting. ठीक है? Then we can see here frenetic run rates. Frenetic का मतलब होता है basically it's a combination of frantic and wild. So a lot of energy, but in a very uncontrolled manner. That is frenetic. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है ना कि आपके पास आपके अंदर बहुत सारी एनर्जी होती है, but you do not know how to use it. So it kind of leads you into a frenetic spree of doing things mindlessly. So that is frenetic. Ominous. Omen is related to something obviously inauspicious, but totally depends whether we are talking about a good omen or a bad omen. So ominous का मतलब होता है something which is unfavorable, something which is inauspicious, something which is थ्रेटनिंगली inauspicious। इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर कुछ ओमिनस लग रहा है हमें, तो हमें वो चीज नहीं करनी चाहिए। जनरली पीपल हु आर सुपरस्टिशियस, जब वो देखते हैं कि उनके सामने से एक काली बिल्ली ने रास्ता काट लिया है, सो दैट अकॉर्डिंग टू देम इज ओमिनस। ओके, इसका मतलब है समथिंग दैट इज थ्रेटनिंगली इनऑस्पिशियस। उनको लगता है कि कुछ बहुत ही अनलकी हो जाएगा, कुछ बहुत ही डेंजरस हो जाएगा। यस, अ बैड हैपनिंग, एग्जैक्टली उत्कर्ष। देन मूविंग ऑन टू लेंट अ शार्प हैंड। लेंट अ शार्प हैंड का मतलब होता है प्रोवाइडिंग सपोर्ट और हेल्प। हम बोलते हैं ना, प्लीज लेंड मी अ हैंड, इट्स एग्जैक्टली दैट। दे जस्ट एडेड एन एडजेक्टिव शार्प देयर, बट इसका मतलब वही होता है, टू प्रोवाइड हेल्प, टू प्रोवाइड सपोर्ट टू somebody. And moving to the next one, since within the cricketing lexicon, what's the meaning of the word lexicon? Lexicon का मतलब होता है vocabulary or a dictionary. So when I talk about lexicon, I'm actually talking about a person's vocabulary of a particular language, okay, or a glossary. So बहुत easy word है. You can start using it as a substitute for vocabulary. And then the last one is willow wielders. Willow wielders is actually specially used for batsmen. Why? Because जो हमारा bat होता है वो willow tree से बनता है. तो willow wielders का मतलब होता है a batsman who uses a willow bat. That is willow wielders. Now I have already written the meanings here. Indomitable is invincible, impossible to defeat. Tussle is a struggle or a fight. We have already discussed that. Bragging, when people behave in an excessively proud, boastful manner. Show off करना अपने achievements का. Riveting, completely engrossing, compelling, exactly. Frenetic, fast, energetic in a rather wild, uncontrollable way. Ominous, threateningly inauspicious. Lent a sharp hand, help or support. Lexicon, vocabulary, and the last one is willow wielders, which is specially used for a cricket batsman because they use a bat made out of willow tree. Okay, अगर यहाँ पे कुछ भी नहीं समझ में आया हो तो please let me know. I can re-explain. The passage was pretty simple. They have given us lots and lots of names here. I kind of summarized the passage for you guys. Basically, it's talking about the celebration that India is going to soon engross themselves in, because we have won the test series on our home ground, and we have maintained the 10-year long streak. So that's pretty much it. So let's talk about the main idea here and the tone. Anybody who can come up with two lines that kind of sums up the main idea here? Acknowledges the challenges. Okay, that India faced. कौन से challenges थे यहाँ पे? The England team, who's a very strong team. Absence of seasoned players like Virat Kohli. Yet the newbies stepping up, leading India to victory. Okay. So overall, we can say the tone is appreciative, right? We are appreciating it. Upbeat, energetic, in the mood of celebration. So celebratory, right? So this is the tone. You can see it's a very positive passage. So यहाँ पे कुछ भी negative नहीं है. So you can use all those upbeat words, something that fills us with happiness. We are obviously all praise for our Indian cricket team. We are in the mood for a celebration. तो ये हमारे लिए अच्छी खबर है. And that's pretty much it. Now, time for the quiz. As you can see, This is about the article Everything in the Garden of Elections is Not Lovely. Let's first talk about what's going on in this passage. कितने लोग हैं यहाँ पे जिन्होंने ये particular passage पढ़ा हुआ है या ये article पढ़ा हुआ है? So if you're somebody who hasn't read this particular article, let me give you a tiny summary here. So the main idea of this particular article is it kind of revolves around the significance of free and fair elections. ठीक है? Free and fair elections बहुत ही ज़्यादा crucial होते हैं because that helps us to maintain the integrity of democracy. And here particularly we are talking about India's democratic system. ठीक है? And particularly in the light of recent incidents, अगर आप देखो अभी कुछ incidents ऐसे हुए थे that has definitely raised a lot of concerns when it comes to electoral malpractices. कुछ ना कुछ wrong doings, कुछ ना कुछ misconduct. उसकी वजह से ये और भी ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है that we need to uphold, free and fair elections का ideal. The passage also discusses the importance of judicial intervention इन बेसिकली सेफ गार्डिंग द इलेक्टोरल प्रोसेस. देखो जहां जरूरत होती है वहां जुडिशरी को भी इंटरवीन करना ही चाहिए. एंड इट ऑल्सो हाईलाइट सर्टन स्पेसिफिक केसेस, जैसे कि अभी एक केस था चंडीगढ़ मेयर्स इलेक्शन केस where the courts played the role of an intervener and they kind of upheld the democratic principles. तो बीच बीच में अगर हमें ऐसा लगता है कि there's something which is going not in the right way, then in a democracy, the judiciary should also come and intervene and take the right steps. So that's exactly what has happened here in Chandigarh's mayor election case. So that's pretty much the summary of this particular article. वो चाहते हैं हमें कि fair elections होना चाहिए, वो चाहते हैं कि judiciary को भी intervene करना चाहिए. So what according to you was the writer's tone in this particular passage? Let me tell you what is an accommodating tone, first of all. When I talk about an accommodating tone, it means you tolerate something. Okay? Okay, I have already revealed the answer to you guys. Let me just write it here. So you tolerate it. Okay? You are not happy or sad about it, you are just tolerating it. That means you are not reacting to it. So that is accommodating. Obviously it wasn't about the writer tolerating anything, right? Edifying का मतलब होता है information that enlightens the readers. तो यहाँ पे तुम लोगों को ऐसा लगा कि that the writer shared some enlightening piece of information? Can it be edifying? Again, no. The answer is perturbed. Perturbed का मतलब ये होता है कि the writer is concerned, disturbed about the elections and about the way the elections are held. And he's kind of raising his concern in this particular article. So perturbed is the answer. Pious, I think you guys must have noticed this word many times in generally spiritual texts or religious texts. क्या होता है pious? Deeply religious. A pious person is a deeply religious person. Okay? Then, moving to the next one. The answer was perturbed for this one, by the way. The next one is drop the garland model to let science in India blossom. I think from the title itself, it's pretty evident what we are talking about. We are trying to focus on improving our scientific fields, right? So यहाँ पे main idea की अगर हम बात करते हैं तो it's majorly highlighting the need for revamping the traditional structure and practices of scientific meetings in India. अब यहाँ पे अगर मैं बात करूँ revamping की, what's the meaning of revamping? If I want to revamp something, for example, revamp the curriculum or revamp the way my house looks, what does that mean? In simple words, it means to renew something or to refurbish something. That means you are not really liking the older system and you want to change it now. ठीक है? That's basically revamping the traditional structure when it comes to scientific meetings that happen in India. देखो, सबसे पहले तो राइटर डिस्कसेस हाउ आउटडेटेड आर ब्यूरोक्रेटिक एज वेल एज हायरार्कियल फ्रेमवर्क्स आर। वो ये बोलना चाहता है कि यार अभी तक हम जितनी भी तरीके से मीटिंग्स कर रहे हैं बहुत ही आउटडेटेड तरीका है ये। सालों से वही सेम तरीके से हम मीटिंग्स कंडक्ट करवा रहे हैं। ठीक है। He also talks about the non-secular as well as the non-inclusive practices, which should, which should definitely stop now, because obviously India is becoming more and more more and more आप बोल सकते हो inclusive day by day, and it also persists in many scientific conferences in India. ऐसी बहुत सारी scientific conferences हुई हैं जहाँ पे हम लोगों ने बहुत सारे मेंबर्स को या बहुत सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को इंक्लूड नहीं किया है, so which should definitely stop in future. However, the author also presents some contrasting examples of conferences. तो उन्होंने आपको examples के through समझाने की कोशिश की है कि if we actually become, I would say, more inclusive. Secondly, if we actually revamp the way we, conduct these meetings, things are going to be very, very fruitful and beneficial for all of us. तो उन्होंने कुछ contrasting examples भी दिए हुए हैं, such as the No Garland Neuroscience and the Young Investigators Meeting Series. तो ये कुछ examples थे जहाँ पे इन लोगों ने prioritize किया है the informal as well as the non-hierarchical engagement. देखो, जहाँ पे भी ज़्यादा आप स्ट्रक्चर में घुस जाते हो कि नहीं, एवरीथिंग शुड फॉलो द स्ट्रक्चर, सो इट बिकम्स वेरी ट्रेडिशनल, इट बिकम्स वेरी बाइंडिंग एज वेल एज लिमिटिंग। सो राइटर बोल रहा है कि ये जो पुराने तरीके हैं ना, वी शुड एक्चुअली डिसॉल्व दोज थिंग्स एंड वी शुड एक्चुअली give more focus to flexible as well as informal as well as non-hierarchical structures. ठीक है। It also includes gender diversity, obviously. It also includes secular scientific practices. एक तरफ हम साइंस की बात करते हैं, एक तरफ हम सेक्युलरिज्म की बात करते हैं, तो साइंटिफिक प्रैक्टिसेस को तो सेक्युलर होना जरूरी है ही। The author also argues the revamping of the structure and conduct of scientific meetings in India. Why? Because it's very, very essential to address the academic challenges. अगर हम पुरानी ही तरीके से चलते रहे तो obviously दुनिया तो बहुत जल्दी progress कर रही है. We won't be able to catch up if we still get stuck with the traditional ways or the conservative ways of doing things. So in order to align ourselves to the contemporary international requirements, we need to step up our game. That's pretty much the summary of this particular passage. Now, when I talk about the tone of this passage, what do you guys think would be the answer? Thank you so much for giving me the meanings of revamping: to reorganize, to reshape, to renew, or to transform. Om, Drishti, Aditi, Vedansh, you guys have answered it absolutely correctly. ठीक है? So now coming back to this particular passage. अगर मैं बोलूँ यहाँ पे कि this has given us factual data, could be partly true, but the thing is हमें कहीं ना कहीं writer के concerns भी सामने दिखते हैं. So a factual piece of information will never really voice the opinions of the writers. So remember that यहाँ पे factual तो है ये, but writer का भी तो opinion आ गया. So we can't simply peg it as a factual piece of writing. What do you guys think? What could be the answer? And caviling. Oh, caviling का मतलब होता है nitpicking. When you intentionally find faults with something. तो ऐसा तो नहीं है कि राइटर इंटेंशनली गलतियां ढूंढना चाह रहा है, उसको तो जो दिख रहा है वही होना चाहिए, है ना? ही इज जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट व्हाट्स एक्चुअली ट्रू. मेंडेशियस का मतलब होता है फॉल्स, समथिंग विच इज बेस्ड ऑन फॉल्स प्रेमिसेस. तो क्या यहाँ पे ये हो सकता है? मेंडेशियस का ही ऑपोजिट होता है वेरेशियस, बेस्ड ऑन ट्रूथ, बेस्ड ऑन फॉल्स प्रेमिसेस. तो ऐसा कुछ है क्या? नहीं. द आंसर इज pragmatically positive. Pragmatically का मतलब होता है a little bit critical, but in the end he is optimistic about it. Things are going to change for better in the upcoming future. The answer is pragmatically positive. Very good, Vaibhav. And the bonus question for the day. I want you guys to click a picture of this particular slide, and so that you can just read this article and come up with your answers later on in the comment box. And let's see what it is about. So, यहाँ पे the source is old beginning on Pakistan politics. So again, I have taken this from the editorial itself. अगर किसी ने already पढ़ लिया है ये, तो please be my guest. Write your answers in the chat box. और अगर आप लोगों ने नहीं पढ़ा है, so spend your time, sit on it, think about it, and then let me know what could be the answer for this particular question. So this is a bonus question for all of you. Do your best, and I'm waiting for your responses in the comment box. And that's it from my side, by the way. Also, if you do not know the meaning of any of these words, let me know. I can explain. A screed is basically a loud, aggressive speech. अगर किसी को नहीं पता हो इसका मतलब, बाकी मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि तुम लोगों को इसके आंसर्स पता ही होंगे, मतलब आफ्टर रीडिंग इट वंस. A loud aggressive speech, generally to convince the readers for something. Okay, so that is a screed. So I hope you have clicked the picture of this particular slide, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time, for your patience, and I hope it was productive for you. Subterfuge का मतलब होता है when we use trickery. आप किसी को trick करते हो. Dishonesty से आप किसी चीज को पाना चाहते हो. So that is subterfuge. Okay, anything else? Thank you, Samiksha. Thank you for your time, everyone. Bye bye. See you again soon. Have a great day, everyone. Bye bye.